Hello and welcome to the show. Today we're going to be joined by the lovely Becky James, and she's going to be showing us a really clever canvas image transfer technique using, believe it or not, Anita's tacky glue and the beautiful new capsule collection Parisian Blue. Hi Becky, welcome along.
Hi Katie.
Now, what have you got to show us today?
Well, today we are going to use a lovely new product that we've got, which is the canvas and all that Bare Basics canvas range, which is fabulous, really rustic. And we're actually going to explore a new technique called canvas image transfer, which basically means that we're going to take some canvas and we're going to transfer the image from papers actually onto the canvas so that we have a patterned canvas rather than plain.
That doesn't sound possible. That sounds like there's some sort of sorcery going on, Becky. That sounds amazing.
But do you know what? It is so easy to do. Once you know what you're doing with this, you'll be doing it all the time. Okay.
Now this canvas in the Bare Basics collection is pretty awesome.
It is. It's
and we've
really
all been a little
lovely.
bit overexcited about it.
We have, yeah.
And it comes in lots of different shapes, doesn't it? So like on your card here, you've used the heart, haven't you?
Yeah, and it's double layered as well.
So, it's
like they're like little pockets. And actually on the card, what I've done is I've snipped into it, and we've actually used some wadding to stuff it out, so it looks a bit 3D. Nice 3D and padded.
So we've got stars, which are lovely.
Yeah, there is.
Little tags.
I know. These are going to be fabulous as well, made into little decorations to hang on dresses and that real vintage look and that sort of thing.
My favourite.
The bunting is lovely.
And also sheets of it as well.
Yeah.
So you get like a whole pack of these, don't you?
Absolutely. So you can make your own canvases, you know, your larger canvases, but also you can die cut stuff like this as well to make your own shapes and things like that. So
it smells really nice. It's perfectly normal to smell your craft products. There's also Hessian in this collection as well, which is very exciting. Yeah. So look out for that as well.
Right, so first thing that we've done is I have put some Anita's tacky glue. You're going to need quite a bit of this because we're not going to put it on thinly. And I've popped it in. Now this is one of the plastic trays that our embossing folders come in.
Oh, that's nice and thrifty, I like that. And you haven't got to wash up after.
You haven't got to wash up afterwards, no. And they're nice and big because we're going to actually lift it up, scoop it up from a pallet.
Washing up sounds a bit like housework for my liking.
No, we don't do that, do we? So, now all I'm going to do is with a palette knife, I'm just going to pick some up, and we're just going to rub it on to the canvas, and it's going on quite thickly. I can pick it up in a second just so that people can see. And it does go on quite thickly because this is actually what's going to hold the image onto the canvas.
Fantastic.
So if we just lift that up, you can actually see that it is quite thickly applied. Right, now then, I've also got a piece, we'll just pop that down so it's quite a bit flatter. A piece of some of the paper out of the Parisian Blue pack. Now, I will say that this is, you know me, I love to get messy, inks, glues, everything. This is one of those techniques where you're going to enjoy getting messy.
You always get a big pack of scrap paper ready when Becky goes into TV.
So, what I'm going to do, because we need this to dry at around about the same sort of pace as the glue is drying, we're going to just mist this off a little bit. So just add a bit of water. Obviously, I'm using a mister because we're here today, but if you want to, just in your washing up bowl, you know, just soak it down, just soak it a little bit.
So it doesn't have to be a mister, it can just, as long as it gets wet, that'll be fine.
That's it, yeah, absolutely. We just need it to get wet. I'm going to use it's going to be easy to use my mister a little bit later though, so we are going to use that. So we're going to put that on there with the image downwards.
Face down onto the glue. Okay. Yeah. Because you kind of would think it would be the other way because you think it feels like you're hiding it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And then I'm going to get another piece of scrap paper. We're going to pop that on top. And then what I've got here is the LVCC small rolling pin. And we're not going to use this for cake decorating today. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually roll over this. And what we're doing when we're doing that is we're flattening as far as much as we can the paper onto the canvas, but we're also getting rid of any water and any excess glue that's underneath. So we just keep doing that and just keep going.
Great fun, I love this.
Yeah, and then we're just going to pull that back.
Fab.
There we go. Pop that to go in the bin, and we're going to take that off, and then this is nice
to see starting already.
Yeah,
can't
absolutely. You can. You can see it almost because the paper's peeled back some of it already. So we're going to pop another piece of paper on here, and here's one I made earlier, as they say in Blue Peter, in true style. And this one, it's nice that you can feel it. It's nice and it's quite nice and stiff and solid. Yeah. And
it's still not pliable enough that we're going to be able to do things with it later.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to mist this. So I am going to mist it just because all I want to do is apply water to the top, because it's just going to help me to start to lift this paper back.
Wow.
So I've got a sanding block here, emery board, anything like that, piece of fine sandpaper will do fine. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to rub over it and just start to lift this back of this paper off.
Brilliant.
And you're going to just, whilst you're doing this, you are going to need to work with the water, because it does need to soak. So just keep doing that. And
that's amazing.
As soon as you start to see quite a big bit of the backing coming off, then you can start using your finger.
You can see the pattern coming through there, can't
exactly. We? So now let's just hold. I was going to say we just
tilt it up.
You just rub it with your finger, so and basically you can now see all this pattern coming through.
That's amazing.
Now, as it dries, you might think you've got all the paper backing off, but as it dries, it might start to look a bit white, and you know you haven't. So you just keep misting it and taking the paper back. So next thing that I'm going to do, just to emphasise a bit of the canvas, is to get my block again, and you just sort of sand it down a little bit, and you'll just see a little bit more of the canvas fabric come through. And this is a great way if you want to just add a bit of distress to it as well. And that is fine. That is it. And you get that lovely texture to it. That lovely. It's also very strong as well. Makes
You've
it really
still got
strong.
that little bit of movement, haven't you? So if you wanted to shape it a little bit, like you've got your stuffing in here.
And you can ink it, you can stamp on it, you can do all sorts of things like that. So, and that's it. That is basically how easy it is.
Fantastic technique. So you've popped it on a card, obviously. So as you said, you've done it on the little heart pocket, haven't we?
Let's pop one of the pockets here. So the little heart pocket. And as we said earlier on, they're back to back, stitched back to back. So all I did then, having done that, and I did that technique first.
Oh, onto the top of the pocket,
onto the top of it, because it's much easier to do whilst it's
flat.
Because
you don't need to get to the back of it, do you? It's just on the top, so that's good.
Absolutely. Just a little snip in the bottom of the heart, and basically some wadding, which you can get from most craft shops. And I use the best thing for packing things out when you're doing these sort of projects. I find it's the LVCC dowels, which you use for the cakes, holding the cakes. These are brilliant, great for shaping flowers, all sorts of things.
If you use a pencil, you're going to get pencil marks all over your work. If you use like a craft knife, you're going to cut yourself, aren't you, or something else. So yeah, they're really good.
And you don't need to have a large
little tiny hole,
little hole. And just pop it, use the wadding, use the dowel, and just pack it out, not too much. Yeah. And then I just glued it back together at the bottom. You can sew it if you want, and there you go. And
you've done some little bit of inking around the edge there as well.
That's it.
And what else have you done on here?
What else have we done? Basically, we've got one of the little tags which I've hand stamped.
Oh, beautiful. What sort of ink did you use on that one?
Well, I found the best ink was the pigment ink.
Okay.
Because it's nice, you get a nice deep pigment with the ink, obviously, and you just heat dry it with a heat tool. That's fine. We've also used on here some of the patterned craft tape, which we've ruffled.
And that's the really big thick one, isn't it?
It's the big thick one. I love that one. That's really nice. And some of the jute ribbon and the new capsule collection ribbons.
That's adhesive, isn't it? That little trim there. We like that one. Right, oh, wonderful. If you've been getting busy crafting, we'd love to see what you've been up to. Maybe you've been using fabric on your projects, and maybe not just on completely fabric projects, perhaps on your cards or on your scrapbook pages. We'd really love to see what you've been making. Do drop us an email to tv@docrafts.com, and we could feature your project on an upcoming episode of Do Crafts TV, or even in Creativity magazine. All the instructions for Becky's project will be online, so don't worry if you think you've missed anything. You can always check them out on the website. Until next time, happy crafting.